Heading downstairs and stepping outside, I breathed in deep, noticing Sal waiting nearby.
Ready to go.
As ready as I'm going to be, I think. Without question, he took me by the hand and he wandered over to the pool. That was a weird thing to say about getting in a pool. Maybe I guess the looming humans are scary. Sal let me in first and closed the gate behind us. The water shimmered calmly, and the sound of it sloshing against the sides was at least a little relaxing.
How are you holding up?
Fine so far. Did you want to get in the water?
Maybe in a little bit. We need to have a talk first.
Okay, what about? He gestured over to the poolside chairs and sat down. Not reclining, but still there, waiting for me to do the same.
Dave, I have a favor to ask.
Okay, what's the favor?
I need you to talk to Dean and tell him you're not interested.
I blinked. Not sure I'd heard him correctly at first.
You think never talking to Dean would make him think that you're not interested?
So much
Give me a
work
moment. Give me
so
a
much
moment.
work.
I need to go call up Johnny Foursquare and let him know that I'm not interested. Never spoken to him before once in my life, but in case he's still on the hook.
Sorry, what?
Interested in dating him, I mean.
No, I got that, just I wasn't expecting that.
Sorry, I'm just worried for him. You two have barely talked and interacted in a way that two people potentially dating should be. Or would be, I suppose.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, because we're not. What?
I hate the way
Every
this
now and
game
then you
is
get a
approached
comment that
constructing.
vaguely suggests that Dave and Dean have been more involved than is suggested or something, and maybe that comes up in more on Dean's route, which itself is being rewritten, so who knows, but like specifically, there was a line where Dean is like he's either talked about or says himself that he's old-fashioned and doesn't want to sleep with Dave until they've had a proper date first. So by definition they're not dating because they haven't gone on a date.
Yeah.
So like at most they might have said a few words or flirted once.
So
which like
I see this sentence, right? And it feels like course correction. It feels like the game is going like, whoopsie, I forgot to put in some scenes, so we're gonna all look at the camera and acknowledge that this hasn't been a real couple, and we're so smart for acknowledging that the writing was bad. So now you should have a conversation. See, it was all planned from the start. And now people in the comments are going to be like, see, I told you that you all picking up on the fact that Dean and Dave aren't a thing. Like, that wasn't bad writing. It was just part of the story. This is not part of the story. This is the game going, oh shit, we forgot to have writing. It's time to acknowledge that so that I don't need to go back and fix it. Which is just really bad writing. It's really frustrating.
it's very strange. It's
Because
rough
this
to have to
implies that
navigate.
this whole time that the writer has known that we haven't had these interactions, and they've just been playing coy and making the characters dumb and string us along like something's been happening, while also knowing that it's been a problem the whole time.
It's very hard to get a handle on what's happening, just on this entire relationship. I don't know what they're going for. It's odd that Dean is such a heavy presence in the route he's not in, but they're still mostly not doing like anything with it. Like it's not like the here's Leo, your ex, that you're actively avoiding, and that's like the texture of the whole playthrough. It's like he's not our ex because we've never dated and never slept together. Maybe we were nice to each other for a while or flirted at some point, but in a way that's hard to articulate because it's never happened on screen. Because Dean makes dirty jokes at everyone, and like there are some comments that indicate that he cares about us, but that doesn't mean we're dating. And it's just like a weird, like, it's increasingly just like a strange level of like responsibility to manage somebody else's emotions when you're not doing a thing already. Like, it's like, it's very strange. It might be that this doesn't always happen. It might be that this specifically happens in Sal's route because Sal is best friends with Dean, and so he forces you to engage with the fact that you're not dating Dean and not in Dean's route, basically, when you're in Sal's route.
Yeah.
And so it might be specifically his. But if that's the case, Dean being heartbroken over whatever your relationship is doesn't come up nearly enough, or really ever. Like, even to the point where it's like, in that alternate route, when we went back to try the massacre password, I chose to hang out with Dean, and he was just like, go on, don't worry, I'm not gonna drown. And then we just didn't get to hang out with Dean. Like, I literally chose to hang out with Dean at the pool, and it's like a false choice, and you don't actually get to spend time with him. So, like, the game actively doesn't let you interact with Dean at times, in a somewhat strange way. And there's no on-screen relationship between these characters, so there isn't a thing to confront. Like, whatever they're talking about is a nebulous off-screen thing that, even through the description the game gives us, is itself basically nothing anyway. So it's just a weird amount of weight to put onto it. And that's compounded by the fact that also the basis of this happening is that Sal and Dean are best friends, which itself just had to be told to us like 15 days in because nothing supported that information. So that itself is, so it's like there's compounded, poorly established relationships leading to this interaction that increasingly doesn't make sense. And I can't stress enough, is happening in the context where somebody is seemingly trying to murder us.
Yes.
So it's also like too late for this interaction to happen. Like, this should be a day 7 interaction, and we should have hashed out our Dean relationship before the stakes were really kicking off. But now there's so many stakes that this feels like the Lord of the Rings conversation where we're like, this is happening now? Okay.
Yeah. Completely. I am exhausted.
Things have just...
No excuses, Dave.
This is some shit. I'm mad at Sal right now.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Sal isn't wrong for being like, you should tell the person who you're leading on, you should tell them, you should communicate things to people. That is true. But in this particular instance, I do not think this is justified.
Also, why'd you tell him to go get ready for the pool?
Yes.
Go get ready for the pool so I can actually tell you to go confront Dean.
Yes.
You should do it while half naked. That'll
That'll help. That'll tone him down. All right.
No excuses, Dave. I just don't want Dean to get brokenhearted by chasing something that isn't there is all.
Man.
He's not even chasing it well.
No. He's not chasing it at all. He's standing as the train passes in front of him. Like
if he even
he's
is
at a stoplight.
If he even is flirting with Dave, that's incredibly unclear, honestly. Like, it's clear that we're told by everyone that Dave and Dean are maybe a thing, but we're never shown it on any level. Like, periodically you get a little comment where Dave is freaked out by something and Dean is compassionate about that, which is nice, but that's just how friends behave.
Yes.
So, and he doesn't actually flirt with or pursue Dave in any noticeable way.
Yes.
I shifted uncomfortably in my spot, waiting for Sal to follow up with anything else he wanted to add.
If there is something there, and I'm sorry to be pushy, but tell me now.
I guess I didn't realize?
To be fair, Dean hasn't done much better. He's a bit, there's no nice way to say it, but a bit dense at times.
He's Scottish.
That's a joke no one will get.
There was this running gag throughout, not just MFF, but just the fact that, like, people from our Discord, Hexo and Zek, were spending a lot of time together before MFF, and then spending time with us in MFF, and they were talking about how, like, because Hexo's Scottish, he's got this very thick accent, but people don't register his accent or recognize it, so people just think that he has like an impediment of some sort, and so the running gag was just like, oh, you're so brave and so on, like bringing your friend out here, like, so, you're so nice to you to take care of your friend, and it's like, he's just Scottish, he just talks like that. It's just it was the fact that people don't know what Scottish people sound like in the United States is just like a fascinating through line. Like, what? You're calling him dumb?
As if that's even mean to do.
Perhaps idealistic is the better word here. He's plagued by mistakes he's done and overcompensating so they don't happen again.
Like, fucking what, dude? What
Wait,
mistakes have made him an asshole?
What is Dean's backstory? What is his tragic darkness? Like, what do you mean? What kind of mistakes?
Mostly just an ex-boyfriend. It's not my story to share, but I get the impression that's still on the forefront of his mind at times.
Okay, people have exes.
Okay, but also, why hasn't he ever communicated this to us if we've been a thing for so long that people are aware of this? I don't understand this friend group at all.
How does everyone know we're a thing, but we've never dated?
Yes.
What does that mean? I don't understand what that means. I feel like this is where we suffer a little bit from the approach of having routes and splitting stuff into different characters, is that, like, it feels like vital information about characters that is treated like universal information is actually unique to specific routes. So you're like, what the fuck are people talking about? And we're playing as the character who should know stuff about himself and his own relationships with people, but we don't know what he knows because we have to play a different character or something, maybe? So
maybe
I'm a rebound? Maybe? You're not a rebound, Dave. Rebounds are much more impulsive and fast, and things actually happen in them. Like, people rush into relationships in a rebound. He's vaguely hinted at the idea of maybe being interested in you, maybe off screen before the campaign started 18 days ago. Like, this is the coldest fucking rebound ever. This is like when you hit just the right angle in Super Breakout and, like, the fucking ball just never comes back. And you're like, please come back. Please. It's been 85 years. It just slowly bounces between the two opposite walls, back and forth in slow motion.
I don't think so, but I don't think he's been entirely honest to you, or himself about it either. Again, that's something that is his responsibility to raise with you, should you want to pursue something together.
Which is why I raised it with you. I hung my head and thought about it. Dating Dean, or whatever it was that he had, was easy. Dating Dean, or whatever it was that he had, was easy. I don't know what that sentence is. I don't know that sentence. I don't get that sentence.
I think what Dave is saying is that whatever Dean represents for him is an easy backup plan, which admittedly is like a kind of sociopathic thing to do to someone, where you're like, well, if everything else fails, then I'd have this one person who's fucking waiting on my beck and call, which is kind of fucked up. But I do not think it's particularly well communicated.
I don't know. I'd date Dean, whatever. I like the attention, but with how Salas brought it up, something didn't feel right. It felt fake more than anything.
Performative?
So Dean and I, what are we?
I'll admit that when we meet for our weekly bowling, you come up in conversation. You make him happy, but I don't know if it's specifically you or just what you represent.
I guess they go bowling. Did we know this before? I didn't know this.
Yes. That's come up once, I think.
That's yeah, it's probably just a dumb character trait I ignored. Never mind then.
It came up like yesterday or the day before. I distinctly remember it as being a post-Jack revelation where we were like, oh, right, they're best friends. Here's a little reminder, they go bowling.
Sorry, I shouldn't say things like that. It's not right. I shouldn't talk about bowling in your presence.
This sounds like something you should have talked to him about too, if you've noticed all this. I've noticed that the person you keep saying you like is someone you like. Did you notice that?
I have before, and will probably need to do so again.
Oh.
There's also another reason why I want you to talk to Dean.
What's the other reason?
I don't want to be the best friend who steals away someone's date. I don't want to come for his girl, Dave. Intentionally or otherwise.
Wait, is the reveal that the looming problem in this whole campaign was that we needed to break up with Dean explicitly so that Sal could date us, and that's the only reason he actually was like, I can't do this for reasons I'm not going to get into.
I think so.
Don't ask questions you don't want to hear the answers to.
Yeah.
Wait, you mean me?
Yes. If anything happens between us, I want my best friend to not feel cheated or betrayed.
So there's a recurring problem, but it's worth commenting on it each time it happens, just to reinforce like what's going on with that and the overall writing issues in the game. There's a momentum problem here, where all of our attempts to romance Sal and all of our scenes that were setting them up as being more intimately interested in each other happened like 10 days ago, around the time that he got murdered and stuff, if I remember correctly. They've firmly dropped off to the point where Sal has barely been the route character lately, and now he's confronting us about Dean and how we need to dump Dean explicitly so that they can feel like he's not betraying someone by dating us. And like that, there's two problems here. One, the momentum's, like I said, the momentum's completely gone, so it feels like this is coming out of nowhere, and I can only retroactively piece together what they're going for because I'm kind of attuned to every data point at this point of what this game's up to. But also, if you immediately date your best friend's boyfriend right after they break up, they do tend to feel betrayed.
Yes.
So that's also not, that doesn't quite work either, but that might be tied to Sal's like very mechanical interpretation of relationships, because that's what he does. So maybe that's actually proper characterization, that he thinks that it's okay to date someone the moment they break up. Because speaking from experience, when I was pretending to be straight and trying that whole thing out, when you date somebody that somebody you know knows right after, and like 2 weeks after they break out, they're not happy about that. Like years later.
Yeah.
As horrible as it is to say, Dave, I want to be loyal to my friendship with Dean before anything else. Especially before I punch him in the face and knock him out.
Yeah, that's it's really hard to unsee that scene. But also, as horrible it is to say, Dave, I don't want to hurt my friends, is a very strange sentiment. I don't... Sal? What? What is that? I don't... It feels... That feels like it was written on autopilot. That's a very strange line. So,
I'm sorry. I'm not very good at this.
Oh, we know. Just so I understand, you... like me? You like me? He trailed off, seemingly at a loss. As in, more than just a friend?
I think so. Or at least, I would like to find out in a more official capacity, I think.
So you mean dating?
Actual dating, yes. I believe there's potentially something there, but I don't know for certain how compatible we are. I like to think there's a strong possibility we are.
Huh. Okay.
Is that okay?
This is a lot to take in, Sal, as I imagine you are too, but,
Well, regardless of how you feel towards me, you need to talk to Dean. If you choose Dean, or even if you don't, that conversation needs to happen.
So what's interesting is that aside from a few individual sentences that are just written strangely, this scene works if you literally just move it to like 10 days ago. Like, this is a follow-up on what was happening before. You just need to better establish that Dean and Sal are friends in the first like 3 days, and then you have all the interactions with Sal that we already had, and then this should just happen back when the relationship stuff with Sal was happening instead of in the middle of nowhere while the death game is very active. Because it's just, it feels like an afterthought that it's happening now. It feels completely out of place. But the scene itself does fit the arc of what they were doing. It's just not, it just shouldn't be here. It's just very strange that's happening here. Right.
After that, I'll talk to him and see how we go.
Okay, I'll talk to him.
It doesn't have to be today, but sooner rather than later, please.
Okay.
You're upset and I'm sorry.
What? Is Dave upset? Is Dave upset? What does that mean?
Couldn't tell ya. Couldn't tell ya.
Wait. Why would he be upset?
All I know is that every character in this game is weird.
No,
They're all weird.
It's okay, I get it. It's not fair.
No, it's not fair, especially now of all times with everything you're going through.
Yeah, well, yes, it's very strange you're bringing this up now. I looked out over the water, thinking about it. Everything that I was going through, or had been going through up until this vacation started. The good, the bad, everything in between. Most of it left off camera and undiscussed. I'll be alright. It'd just be like quickly removing a bandage, right? Looking back to Sal, he was shifting uncomfortably, scratching his neck before replying quietly.
Hopefully not as painful as that, given your fur, but yes.
I went to stand and found him quickly reaching over to take my hand.
There's something else, too. The third something else of this conversation.
My ears went back as I sheepishly sat back down, wondering if I was about to get more bad news. It's bad news? It's bad news that Sal is into you, who you wanted to be into you, and all you have to do is break up with Dean, who you're not into, and seemingly haven't been dating? All you have to do is just make it clear that you're not a thing?
How did investigating Tyson's room go?
Oh, I can't believe I almost forgot. We might have that solved already, actually.
Don't take credit for the fucking rat telling you exactly what he was doing, you stupid idiot. God.
It's the only time he
That's
successfully
great
solved
news.
anything, and it's because the rat was just like, listen, here's the technicality. Just do that. Whatever. But tsundere about it, so it takes a half an hour to get the conversation out. Yeah, so his room was a mess, but there was something in there that I guess was making an annoying sound while he was sleeping, and that was setting him off?
Like an automatic dog signaling whistle?
Yeah, it's like that annoying-matron you can put in someone, you can hide in someone's room.
Hey, free idea. Hey, all you furry artists out there. An annoymatron that you hide in someone's room and it slowly TFs them into a werewolf. You're welcome. You can send the checks to Toaster at the garbage. Thank you.
Toaster at the garbage. What are those?
Apparently a high-pitched whistle that dogs can hear, but no one else can.
You don't know what a dog whistle is, Dave? What? Why apparently? Are you sure they exist?
Can't confirm if they work because I can't hear them, Dave, but I've seen a whistle or two.
I've seen
What
a
a
whistler
response.
too in my time is a weird way to say
what a-
dog whistles exist.
Incredible.
Although maybe I was being pranked.
It's hard to
Just a
accept.
prank, bro.
I'm struggling with the premise that like dog whistles like an urban legend, even though there's way more people who can experience them than ever before.
Yes.
Still, I guess it's something like that. Something that was making a sound that would lead up to his sleep being disturbed.
If that's all it is, then we're fortunate.
I think I also will let Tyson just use my room to sleep in tonight, just in case it's something else he's picked up from around the mansion.
Picked up.
Stolen. I could see the cogs turning in Sal's head as he stared at me, but said nothing. I know. I'll talk to him about it.
Okay.
And have you stealing from a very rich, mass-murdering dead man. But otherwise, that's it, right? We're done?
For now, at least. Tyson sounds safe, but as far as other things, we're not entirely done.
What do you mean?
There was one other thing I wanted to say.
This guy has a list. Wow. He shifted on the spot briefly, as if trying to be comfortable before he delivered what he had on his mind.
Before I forget, I wanted to thank you, Dave.
For what? I haven't done anything.
Maybe, maybe not, but it's worth saying. Just for being someone I could tell about Abby, and have someone just understand.
Really?
Dean and Orlando came close, but they're not soft in the right ways to understand.
You can't just call someone soft, Sal.
You're just soft in all the right ways, Dave.
Fuck, man. Playing this game makes me feel like I have a fever.
Orlando's not soft enough?
But you understand, and it's nice knowing that you're not alone and missing someone long gone.
Oh. Breathing in deep through my nose, I held it before easing it out in a sigh. People die all the time, Sal.
I totally lost my place when I was reading this just to check for where the pauses were.
It's true, they do. But for those left living in their wake, it's hard to remember that other people potentially within reaching distance can empathize in the same way.
And that's what it was like for you?
Yes. And may I ask another favor? The fourth one in a row?
There's just so many one more things. What's the favor?
Not if but when we get off this mountain, can I take you to visit my sister's grave? Might seem strange, but sometimes I think just having a second person there might be nice for a change.
Of course, Sal. It'll be something to look forward to. I winced as I said it, realizing a moment too late at how that might have sounded.
We can go visit your dad's grave too if you like. I know I'd like to listen to any stories you'd want to share, should you want to tell them.
I think I'd like that too, but we'll see on the stories. I might not be able to, given, you know. I gestured to my face in general and he nodded slowly, understanding.
Even in silence, I think it would be nice, just paying them a visit, nothing more.
He lay back on the chair and stared at the sky. Following suit, I watched the clouds, but my ears were listening out for anything going wrong around us, still unsure about being outside.
Just relax a little bit, Dave. I'll keep you safe.
I'll be there for you. That became the rest of our day, just lounging about and spending most of the day in comfortable silence. We didn't need to say anything as we had some sort of magical mutual understanding. No period. And also, I'm not going to in any way give Tyson any information that can help him not suffer all day. I'm just going to hang out with Sal and approach that later, and also not deal with Dean yet. We didn't need we didn't need to say anything else, as everything that needed to, at least for now. What? And no period again. Something's wrong here. Oh well. It happened.